Hi there. I chose this background today because I'm playing around with backgrounds. But is that a yellow brick road? I think it might be. Um, just kind of tailing off of the idea that I wanted to share with you today, which is if you don't know exactly where you want to go, it's going to be harder to get there. What has that got to do with getting out of school? Well, it has a lot to do with it because as you go up in the speeds, the reality of you getting out becomes more and more a reality. And there are all kinds of parts of you coming into play to get you out of school. There's your absolute determination and your will to do it. There is a neurological, excuse me, part of you that is learning the steno and dropping it down into your subconscious and then accessing it when you need it quickly without filter, without chatter, that makes you drop into the zone and write beautifully. And we can do that at will. That's a different video. But there's this part of you also that wants to look out for you. It wants to protect you from what? Because there are students I've worked with who thought they were afraid of not getting out of school. And come to find out what the fear really was a fear of getting out of school. Silly as that sounds, but that's a whole new, different world out there once you're not in the school environment. That school environment takes on a life of its own. And I've been really studying this and realizing that from theory to about 120, you're still in that place of, well, you're consciously learning your theory. You're learning to understand how to write and that what's coming next is speed building. But you've still got that excitement and that belief and that remembering your why, the thing that got you excited about beginning this journey. And you had no idea what you were getting yourself into, let's face it. But once we're in it, we're the kind of people that we're not going to quit. We're not going to give up. This is fascinating and it's hard, but if it was easy, everybody'd do it. So we keep doing it. And that is the thing that will get you out of school, is just not giving up on yourself, which doesn't mean you can't make changes along the way. And we have a lot of changes in the industry coming up, not the least of which is, for the people in California, is that you can be a voice writer now and be certified in California and do all the things that the steno writers have always been able to do as far as jobs. But from from theory to 120, you still remember how excited you were about getting into the industry and being a court reporter. And then you get into speed building, and and I'm thinking like 120, because there is a while when you get into speed building when you're still thinking about all the words in your head. You're consciously writing. You're writing with the part of you that learned the theory. It's afraid to let go, because even though you've been downloading all of that stuff into your subconscious, these two parts don't talk together often without deliberate intervention. And so it knows that that stuff's going somewhere, but can we trust it? Will it be there when you need it? And when it sees a part of you writing something out that it knows there's a brief for, it feels like it's got to, for your own good, jump in and tell you there's a brief for that, because it's trying to analyze how you're writing, instead of you realizing there's a deeper part of you, a faster part of you, that can let the processing happen and actually write faster by not analyzing how you're writing in the instant that you're writing it. Analyze it afterwards. Figure out if there's something you want to do differently, but not in the act of writing. You don't stop and analyze what you're writing. If you do, you're up in your head, and you can only process so fast up in your head. most of what we do out in the field is we're out of our minds. We are not up here. We are in our subconscious, allowing it to happen. Every once in a while, we'll pop up there and check on something. Is there a brief for that? Can I create a brief on the fly for that? That's a conscious process. And the rest of the time, we want to be in that free flow state of the zone of writing at our cruising speed and doing it beautifully. So there's the beginning section. And then there's the ending section where you're in your exit speeds. And that's from like about 160 on, because once you hit 160, you're out. You are committed mentally to be out in the field working. And so then we got to start working on things like remembering, not just remembering your why, but overcoming your why not. Why should I not be able to finish this and get out and make money and do the things I want to do and be the person I want to be and have the life I wanted to have when I decided to start this journey? That's our business and our work when we get from 160 to beyond. But there's this place that happens in the middle between 120 and 160, and call it 100 or 180. It doesn't matter. It's in the middle. In there, there's a time where literally your brain loses its connection to the why. It forgets why we started this mess, and it can't see the end yet. It doesn't know there's an end. It feels like somehow, for some reason, you've been stuck in purgatory. You are now in hell, and there's no way out, because we don't know the magic spell. We don't know the magic prayers. We don't know the things to do for sure that are going to get us the results that we want. We're in this really amorphous place of, I don't understand, I don't know. And you'll, if you're smart, if you're lucky, if you've got somebody to keep telling you, just keep going, just keep going. It's like being on a suspension bridge and you take those first steps out and you go, I can do this. And you see the end. And then you get in the middle somewhere and you go, oh dear God, what have I done? I want to go back. I want to quit. There's nowhere to quit. What are you going to do? Jump off the bridge? You've got to just keep going. Just whatever got you to this point will get you to the end. You've got to just keep going. So the reason for the road is an analogy that I developed when I was in hypnosis school, which wound up being pretty profound and pretty powerful for a lot of people wanting to make changes. It's been adopted by the teacher who taught me. And so to me, that's pretty amazing. But imagine for a moment, and there's two ways to look at this. It's the Uber analysis, the Uber analogy that I like to use, or Lyft, whatever. You get into an Uber and you tell it where you want to go. And then you realize, oh yeah, my kid forgot his backpack. So could you take a detour and go over here so I can drop my kid's backpack off? And the guy's like, okay, it's on the way. I guess we can do that. And then it's like, oh, and I've got these books that I need to drop off to this other place. Could you stop and do that? And by this time, you've even forgotten where you're going, but you're going down your checklist. And the Uber guy eventually is going to, first of all, it's not within their job description, but eventually is going to pull over and say, will you just get out? When you actually know where you really want to go, point A to point B, you let me know and I'll get you there. But you keep coming up with all kinds of distractions and detours along the way. And I can't make money like that. And you're not going to get to where you want to go like that. Analogy number one. Analogy number two, you get in the Uber and you say, well, I thought I knew where I wanted to go, but I'm not really sure. Maybe I shouldn't go there. Maybe there's a better place to go. Lady, where do you want to go? Hey, passenger, where do you want to go? I don't know. I really don't know where I see other people going places, and where they are looks wonderful, but I don't know if I'm ready to do that. And I don't know if I'm ready to go there. I don't know where I want you to take me. Get out. Let me know when you know. Well, the Uber is the universe. and the universe will take you wherever you want to go once you decide completely, with no equivocation, where you want to go, or better. Always allow yourself to say, or better, because there may be something so magnificent and wonderful that you can't even imagine, but it's available and it's out there. And if you don't say, or better, then the universe is going to try to give you exactly what you say you want. So give yourself that latitude at least. But take some time and don't be afraid. Start with remembering your why. Start with remembering what it was that got you excited about doing this thing at the end of the journey called court reporting. Remember why you got so excited. Feel it in your body. Allow it to come back to the surface again, to re-energize you, to re-motivate you, to remind you of what you wanted to do and where you wanted to go. And then get very clearly in your mind, even if you have to borrow somebody else's vision of what it looks like, get very clear about when you get dropped off, what that's going to look like, because you're going to be in a safe place. You're going to have skills that you need that you didn't have before. You're going to be ready to look at the geography around you and say, I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly what I want, because I've spent some time figuring out who I am, what kind of reporting I want to do, what kind of hours I want to work, how many days I wanted, how to create the job that suits me. So I don't have to do a whole lot of work to become the person to suit the job. Make it always start with you. Have that part of you, that core compass part of you, so solid in who you are and where you're going, that nothing is going to take you off track. And then just go get it. It's what we were all the ones you see who are out working now in a way, or maybe in 100 different iterations of that way. This is how we did what we did. We focused on where we were going without any doubts, or we were able to overcome the doubts we had. We had the power to override the fears that got in the way, to see the fear, to see the thing that scares us, and to go right through it anyway. Because we are court reporters. We are incredible. If this was easy, everybody could do it. And then it wouldn't pay so well. Love you guys. Have a great day. Figure out where you're going. And just get there faster than anyone can imagine.